Hi, everyone. It's Erica Ebert. I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about a topic that's come to me a few times over the last several days. So, whether you are a teacher and a parent, or a parent and a teacher and a parent and a teacher, all of those labels that you have, you might be both of those, none of those, one of each of those. But what's really coming up is, am I doing enough? Am I doing this right? And also judgment of others and how they're doing it. We can't help but see on social media the way that our colleagues and neighbors and friends are managing the education of children. There's not a way to do this. We may be getting guidance from our colleagues or principals and administrators, and that might look different in every district or building that we're in. Our neighbors might have a schedule of 8 a.m. this and 9 a.m. this and 10:30 this. And we might just be like, hey, when it feels right, let's do a little math. What's happening is some deep criticism of ourselves and others. At least that's what I'm hearing. I even have had moments where I'm noticing with the mindfulness work, is there more that I could do? Is there a different way to do it? Is there a better way to do it? And also on the other side of that, if I was someone with children at home that I was educating in this new homeschool setting, I would be someone I know who would be very regimented. And maybe somebody over here would be judging that. Here's what I think. This is just my experience and just my feelings on this topic. That whether there is no routine or a very strong routine that we're seeing on social media from people, sometimes both of those are ways to manage our anxiety. I know that I would have a really solid structure because it would be a way for me to feel like I was managing a world that seems quite chaotic. Whether that's true or not, maybe those of you with a routine wholeheartedly believe in a routine for stability, and that's your truth. And those of you without a routine think, we're so routined all of the time, this is an opportunity to not have that. And here's what I do really believe, that all of that is okay. Not just because I'm a meditator and I think, hey, do whatever the heck you want to do, but I believe that if it's aligned to a truth of the way that you believe it should be done and the way that's right for your children or your students, then that's what you go with. But the other side of that is maybe the use of all this technology is really scary to you as a teacher, as a parent, as both. I know for me with the yoga studio and also with doing this work of sending out videos for the district, I wasn't exactly sure how to use YouTube. Reached out to a colleague, shout out to Mr. Blask, thank you, who really walked me through how to do this. I was a little uncertain and a little uncomfortable. I noticed that, but my truth was that I wanted to get the information out there. So it was worth going through the vulnerability of saying, like, I don't know what I'm doing. All of this is easy in words, but not so simple in action, because it's often challenging to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm afraid I'm doing it wrong. How do I do this? And it's also really easy to not only judge ourselves, but to heavily criticize others. I would say that right now is a time more than ever to build and cultivate some compassion, not only for ourselves, but for the way others are doing what they're doing as well. I truly believe that we are all doing the very best that we can. And again, these are all just words and they're only my words. But from a mindfulness perspective and a practice, I would offer this. Before you start questioning yourself, or maybe in the middle of it, when you notice you're in a swirl of criticism of self or other, if you can just take a pause. Yeah, just a pause. And then take a few deep breaths in and out. And maybe in the moment after those breaths, you ask yourself, if you're in deep criticism of yourself, okay, am I doing the best I can with what I know how to do? It's swimming in uncharted waters. And maybe you also extend that to the people around you. I bet they're doing the best that they can with what they know how to do. Sometimes when we judge each other, it's a way of comforting ourselves. And so again, in this process, we pause, take a few deep breaths, and check in. Is this the best that I can do in this moment? Are the others around me doing the best that they can do? And maybe from there, if that's unclear, or even if it is, there can be this, what's the next best step? How can I support the people around me? And how can I support myself in this? What is it that I need? A little bit of nurturing goes a long way. So if you're struggling because you're wondering, are you doing enough? Check in with yourself. We've never been in a place like this before. And if you also find yourself in heavy criticism of another, maybe see if you can pause and extend just the slightest bit of compassion or curiosity, as Judson Brewer says. When we find ourselves in heavy judgment, getting curious about why that's happening is a really great way to understand why we or the other is doing something. If I can support you in any way, please reach out to me through district email or by sending me a message on wherever this is posted. Remember to pause, take a few breaths, get curious, and be compassionate. Thank you so much, and I wish you well.